Have you ever seen this painting? At first, this looks like a painting about a miracle. A boat is being swallowed by a storm, the sail is steering, the waves are rising, the men on board are fighting for their lives. But look closer, because hidden in the center of the painting is Rembrandt himself. He has placed himself inside the storm, not as a hero, not as a saint, not as someone saving the ship. He's just there, half in the light, half in the shadow, and he is looking directly out of the painting at us, or maybe at something beyond us. This is Christ in the Storm on the Sea of Galilee, painted by Rembrandt van Rijn in 1633. It shows the biblical story of Jesus and his disciples crossing the Sea of Galilee when a violent storm suddenly threatens to destroy their boat. The disciples panic, the waves crash, the boat tilts upward, the sail pulls against the mast, some men fight the ropes, some reach toward Christ. One man is sick over the side, and Christ sits in the darkness. This is one of the strangest things about this painting. The danger is easy to see, the salvation is harder to find. The painting is divided into two emotional worlds. On the left there is light. This is the side of movement, panic, work, and survival. The men here are fighting the storm with their bodies. They pull ropes, they reef the sail, they struggle against the wind. They're not thinking symbolically. They're trying not to die. On the right, there is shadow. This is where Christ is. This is where the figures become more still. Some turn toward him, some seem to plead, some seem frozen between fear and faith. So Rembrandt creates a powerful contrast. In the light, men are working to save themselves. In the darkness, men are looking for salvation. One side is action, the other side is faith. And in the exact middle, Rembrandt places himself. Rembrandt is not outside the story, he is inside the boat. He paints himself among Christ and the disciples as if he too is caught in the storm. But he does not fully belong to either side. His face is partly lit, partly shadowed, his body is in the chaos, but his eyes are not fixed on the storm. He does not look at the sail, he does not look at the waves, he does not even look at the Christ. He looks outward. This is the moment when the painting changes, because suddenly we're no longer just looking at a biblical scene. The painting is looking back. Rembrandt becomes the bridge between the world inside the boat and the world outside the canvas, and his expression seems to ask, do you understand what is keeping you afloat? Now look at the figure behind Rembrandt. He turns away. He does not look at us. He does not pause for meaning. He is absorbed in the emergency, and that makes him important, because in a storm not everyone has time to think about faith, symbolism, or destiny. Some people are simply working. They're holding the rope, they're fighting the sail, they're using every skill they have to keep the boat from being dragged beneath the waves. This painting is not only about Christ calming the storm, it is also about the sailors who keep the boat alive until the miracle comes. That is what makes this painting so human. The men in the light are not faithless because they're working, and the men in the dark are not useless because they are still. Rembrandt gives us both responses. There is a practical response. Pull the rope, lower the sail, hold the boat together. And there is the spiritual response. Turn towards Christ. Wait, trust, surrender. The painting does not simply choose one over the other. It shows the terrible moment when both are necessary. Faith does not cancel effort. Effort does not replace faith. In the middle of the storm, human beings need both. Then look at the mast. The beams form the shape of a cross. It is almost hidden inside the violence of the composition. The ropes, the sail, the wind, the clouds, everything seems to fight against it, but the cross-like shape is still there, above man, above the boat, above the chaos. It is as if the structure of the ship itself carries the image of Christ's suffering. The thing that holds the sail also becomes a symbol of endurance. The storm is violent, but the cross remains standing. Most people say Rembrandt is looking at us, and he is, but what if that is only half true? In a painting, the viewer stands outside the painted world. We are beyond the storm, beyond the waves, beyond the boat, beyond the rules of that reality. So if Rembrandt looks outside the painting, he may be looking at the only place beyond the storm. He may be looking through us. He may be looking toward God. That makes his gaze even more powerful. He's not only asking if we see him, he is asking what we see from the place beyond the storm. There is also a flag on the boat, but it is unclear, and maybe that is the point. In this painting, nationality does not matter, status does not matter, identity does not matter. The storm does not care who owns the flag. When the waves rise, every human label becomes fragile. All that matters is the boat. All that matters is whether it holds. All that matters is what you trust when the world begins to break. At first, Christ in the storm of the Sea of Galilee looks like a painting about fear. Then it looks like a painting about faith. But maybe it is really a painting about the space between them. The space where we work because we're afraid. The space where we pray because we're helpless. The space where we do not yet know whether we still survive. And that is why Rembrandt places himself in the center. Not in the light, not in the darkness, but between them, looking out from the storm, as if to ask, when your boat begins to sink, what keeps you afloat?